Good evening to each and every one of you. Thank you so very much for being present with us today in our State of the City dialogue. Not necessarily an address or a speech, but a dialogue between myself, Michael Evans, who's blessed with the opportunity to serve as the mayor here in the great city of Mansfield, Texas, and our city manager, Joe Smolinksi, who does an outstanding job leading our staff of more than 500 men and women who help to make things really happen behind the scenes. So again, thank you all for spending your date night with us on tonight. We tried to adjust things so that we could be in a warmer climate. We figured that 8 or 9 degrees wasn't too appealing to folks, but thank you all for being out tonight. It is about 35 degrees, okay? So we did the best we could do in that regard. Let me recognize for tonight our elected officials. I saw members of our school board here. They are our partners. We appreciate them. Won't you guys stand, school board members? We work hand in hand. We work together. We meet together. We swap property together. I tell you, we're really close, so we appreciate them for the great work that they do. Also, my colleagues are here. They're a little spread out, but I saw Tamara Bounds, who serves on the council. Tamara, won't you wave? I saw Councilwoman Julie Short. She is in here. There she is. Julie was on the first shift. She was up close. I don't blame you, Julie. She's back there this time. She says, I've been here, I've done that, Mike. So good to have Julie. Also, I think Casey Lewis is in the house. I saw Casey. Casey is in the back there, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Who else do we have? Brent. Where's Brent? Brent Newsom. Brent Newsom. Stand, Brent. Wave. Brent Newsom also part of our team. Tata Nora, and we appreciate also Larry Brosh for the great work that they do. I'm going to ask my team, if you don't mind, we are a team. I'm going to ask them to stand again. The council team, would y'all do that so that I want y'all to know who you're whispering by. All right. Good deal. Do me a favor and let's keep my team together, okay? Our team together. We have some outstanding individuals, and you're going to hear me talking tonight, and Joe and I are talking tonight about the things that we have done together. All right, the things that we have done together. Not one, not two, but all of us have done together. So again, thank you so very much. But Joe, before I move forward, there's another person who I have got to recognize tonight. Bless her heart. This young lady, she and I met in high school in 1984. She's the love of my life, and that is my wife, Lisa. She hates that I'm doing this. I'm an extrovert. She's not. That's why you don't see her face on the billboard. She just wasn't going to have it. But that's my wife, Lisa. I love you. Thank you for letting me do this. All of this stuff I get to do because of you, baby. So thank you so very much. So now, Joe, it's in your hands, sir. Introduce our staff.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I want to introduce my staff as well. We'll get to all the folks here in the back of the room in just a second. But would you guys stand for just a moment, if you would? You got Deputy City Manager Troy Listina.
Hey, Troy.
Assistant City Manager Vanessa Ramirez. Assistant City Manager Matt Jones. And Fire Chief Ross, Mike Ross. We just call him Chief. I thought his first name was Chief for like 15 years. It's not. Thank you very much. I'd also like to introduce you to all of the folks in the back of the room and the side of the room that gave up their Friday night to come out and make sure that you guys had all of the information you wanted. So if you wouldn't mind, please give them a round of applause.
So here we are, Mansfield, Texas, 2024. So my wife and I, we arrived to the area in 1989, and we began serving at the Bethlehem Baptist Church in 1989. Mansfield looked a whole lot different. We were rural, as we would say back from where we're from in Houston, Texas. We were the country back then. And there were about 15,000 in regard, Joe, to the population at that time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are at about 82,000. We believe that at the end of this year, we'll be as large as 86,000. thousand, and the numbers continue to go and to grow. Joe, Joe corrected me. He corrected me a few days ago because I was asking Joe, "What's our new build-out number?" He says, "Mayor, you really don't want to know." I said, "No. What is the real number?" Well, he says, by 2040 we'll be at about 150 plus thousand. He says, but the build-out number is maybe double that. Maybe double that. So I said, "Okay, Joe, you're right. I really don't want to know that, but that's where we are in regard to the growth of our city. And each and every one of you, you're a part of that. I'm curious. I met people in the room tonight, Joe, who have just moved to Mansfield, and quite a few of them are vets. Quite a few of them are veterans, and we love our veterans here in Mansfield. We applaud and we appreciate all of our veterans. So all of you, thank you so very much to all of our vets, all of our veterans. But if you've lived in town for 5 years or less, you mind holding up your hands? I'm just curious to see. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. 5 years or less. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Mansfield, Texas. You are in the garden spot of DFW, God's country, Mansfield, Texas. So welcome. Wherever you came from, you are here now. And we're so happy that you are here with us in our community of 82,250 people.
Interestingly, I think at the end of 2027, we'll hit about 100,000 people here in Mansfield. And how many of you drove in or came back from work and you had to drive through 287, I-20, 820 area? So you have experienced something we refer to as construction fatigue. And if you think there's traffic in Mansfield, try driving home. For those of you that didn't come down 287, if you think there's traffic in Mansfield, try taking their trip every day. That's a rough one. On the screen, there's a map, and I hope you can all see it from where you are. These yellow lines are the county lines. For those of you that didn't know, Mansfield rests in 3 counties, Tarrant, Johnson, and Ellis County. So right where those lines come together, that's Mansfield. You can see all of the colors on the map just south of where we are. Whether we like it or not, growth is coming. Whether we like it or not, growth is here. We're no longer south of the Metroplex. We are the southern bubble of the Metroplex. We have been swallowed up by the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. That growth is coming. It's not a question of whether or not people are moving here. But as you can see, there are about 30,000 rooftops, 30,000 front doors, more specifically, coming to the southeast portion, the northwest portion of Ellis County and the northeast portion of Johnson County, just south of us. 30,000 rooftops. That includes everything outside of Mansfield as well. So the traffic is coming, the people are coming. It's not a question of whether or not they are, it's how we manage growth moving forward. Average household, or the average cost of a new house in Mansfield right now is $611,000. Heard a couple people go, "Oh, wow." That's based on MLS data and actual building permits in the building department. Not everybody can afford a $600,000 home. Quite frankly, not everybody's looking for a 4,000 square foot home either, are they? What we'll talk about here in a little bit is we'll talk about choice. What Texans love the most is the power to choose for themselves, and Mansfield's no different.
What power do we have over assessing property value, Joe?
Well, as everybody knows, the city of Mansfield, cities themselves don't assess the value of your home. That's one component of the taxes that you pay. The other part is whether or not you've got a homestead exemption. The city is responsible, along with other taxing jurisdictions, for homestead exemptions. Additionally, we set the tax rate for the city. The city is about 25% of your tax rate at the moment. But when it comes to affordability, we have absolutely no control over what the market says your home is worth.
It's true, and those are questions that we get all the time. So please know that our council team, that what we attempt to do is to lower the tax rate, and we have been blessed with that opportunity to do that. I appreciate my predecessor who started that, David Cook. We started that going to go in regard to that, and our team, we've continued to do that, year after year, the past few years that we have all been together. So you'll see those values have gone in regard to our tax rate from 69 cents now to 65 cents. As it concerns also the homestead exemption, we're at about 14% now. Again, to our council team, something that we all agreed upon together. Again, be reminded of the fact that we live here too, so we are as affected as you are in that regard. And our goal is to go all the way up to that ceiling, and the cap in regard to the homestead exemption is 20%. Again, we're at 14, and we have a goal to get to that 20. We are moving in that direction, and that is a positive direction. So we're real happy about that. Joe, talk a little bit about, if you don't mind, brother, the sales tax and how that kind of helps us out as well.
What many of you may not, that was a Freudian slip, wasn't it? What many of you may not know is that the vast majority of what it takes to run a city comes from property tax. The next largest portion of that comes from sales tax that we receive when you go grocery shopping over at Belk or wherever it is that you go. One of the things that we've seen is even during the pandemic, we have had steady and positive growth in our sales tax numbers. That's due in large part to the increasing population, but it's also due to the efforts of our Economic Development Corporation, who's bringing new businesses, new retail and restaurants to town. Those are the things that offset your property tax. One of the good things about sales tax, in my opinion, is we get a lot of that from people that don't live here. So they're offsetting your property tax when they come here and buy something, and that's a good thing. We've seen positive growth. We continue to see positive growth there. I would expect nothing but the same as we move forward in the next several years. Something else, Mayor, if you don't mind, what I'd like to point out is the credit worthiness of the city. It's difficult to maintain a credit rating that's in the AAA range in this market, but I'm proud to say that this year we had all of our AAA credit ratings reaffirmed by the rating agencies, which is, thank you very much, which is good news for all of you because we can deliver infrastructure in a more efficient manner. We can have water rates that are lower, all of those kind of things. So it's good to do that. Troy Listina, our Deputy City Manager and Chief Financial Officer, his team do a fantastic job keeping the books. How many years in a row have you guys received the budgeting award and the accounting? 37 years in a row.
All right.
37 years in a row. And counting, right? And counting. It's still counting. We're done.
That's good, folks. You say stop talking about that. Okay. But, well, anyway, look. You have in front of you the nice pamphlets there. If you flip them over to the back, you're going to see something. You're going to see where we have what we would call our 5 priorities as it concerns your council. Each year, we put on our backpacks and our boots, and we go off to the wilderness, and we go off into a cabin where we have no food, no water, and we just stay there. And we are involved in work. No, we go off to a workshop every year. We get away. We do get away. And we begin to talk about, what is important based upon what we've heard from you. What have we heard from the citizenry in regard to our citizen surveys and otherwise? And when those come to your home, we're hoping that you fill those out because we listen to you. We take that data and then we begin to talk about, what are going to be our strategic priorities. And you'll see that's what you have in front of you, so you'll note them. Provide a safe community. What have we done? What are we doing in regard to providing a safe community? That would be number one in most people's box in regard to priorities. I really don't think, Joe, that people realize the top-notch police and fire personnel that we have in Mansfield, Texas. I really don't. Let me tell you something. We have an award-winning police force. Oh, you please give they are the real heroes. We have an award-winning fire and EMTs. Thank you all so very much for what you all do, because these are the individuals who run into danger when we're running out of danger. As a matter of fact, our team received an award. Our police received an award for our night out. We appreciate that, a national night out. And many of you have been involved in that throughout the course of the years. And it's a great night. You get to meet your neighbors, but you also get to meet the men and women who are really in the trenches. They are really in the trenches, so we appreciate them. Not only that, but I was asked a question a couple of days ago, and the lady asked, she said, listen, the city continues to grow. So with a growing city, how do you prepare for what, and I'm saying, ma'am, I hope it's not inevitable, but she says, for a rising crime rate. I say, please don't say that, because ours isn't. We've been voted one of the safest cities in the state of Texas, one of the safest cities in the country. But my answer to her was, well, your city council, ma'am, your city council works to make sure that our police and fire, that they have the tools that they need, the training they need, and we are just about to complete a $35 million police building. I mean, it's under construction right now. Some of you may have passed it. You saw quite a bit of the construction coming this way. But that's going to be our police command center, and we believe that. I mean, over our last couple of years, also they have a new training track, a new burn tower, all of that, so that we can make sure that God forbid, that if crime comes this way, that our men and our women, that they are ready to face that. And I want you to know that to a person, we have 100% confidence that our police and our fire, they can handle whatever's coming to them. And thank you, because as taxpayers, you help to make that happen. And all of you do. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Mayor, if I may, I want
Yes.
to make a brief announcement as well.
Please.
I learned this just the other day, but our police department recently went and competed in a nationwide event for hostage negotiation, and they were named the top in the country for hostage negotiation. Nationwide. That's not in the region, that's not in the state, that's nationwide. And some of those ladies and gentlemen are sitting right back there.
Thank you guys very much. So
Thank you
when
very
we
much for
have
your efforts.
when we have city council meetings that go past midnight, rescue us. Thank you very much. All right,
Yes,
rescue us. You hear me?
Please.
Rescue us, because we've lost our minds. Rescue us. All right.
Or at the very least, pull the fire alarm. One of the two. Do something,
Well,
get us out.
But Tamara
of the
might do
room.
that. I mean, she's known to pull fire alarms. She might do that kind of deal. All right, but we got you on camera, Tamara, doing that. But anyway, moving right along. Listen, we have also coming. How many animal lovers do we have in the house? Oh, look at you. Just love you so much. That's so good. Well, guess what? You got a new animal shelter that's being built. It's going to be state of the art. Oh, boy, look at the animal loving people. State of the art. Almost like, I heard somebody say, Joe, did you hear this? Somebody said it was like a Taj Mahal for dogs and rabbits and all that kind of stuff. I mean, no joke. So we're building that, and you'll be able to tour it. And I mean, just what all's going on with that
I
thing?
think
It's going to be nice.
most importantly, it will no longer be a facility you need to rescue animals from. That's what I
right.
would say about that. State-of-the-art facility to make sure that your new family, your new furry family members are nice and taken care of before you come and adopt them, because you will do that, right? Everyone will do that. Rabbits included. And
Rabbits, raccoons.
whatever
No, you said
else.
you can't adopt raccoons. So my bad.
I
didn't know that this morning. My bad. I know some people that have them next door. But anyway, everything's good. Moving right along. All right. So our fire department, they are elite, and they are recognized throughout the country with their ISO 1 rating. That's a good thing. Insurance, securities, operations, and that also does what, Joe, in regard to our insurance rates here?
lowers your insurance rates.
Lowers the insurance rates. All right, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Lower, lower, lower. I know we've got about 27 of you saying, I want to hear about you all lowering my tax burden, and that might be the whole room, but I'm just being conservative in that number.
You chip away at it from every angle possible, even insurance rates. But great police and fire departments, great animal control, code compliance, all those things are an integral part of being in a city. That's why you pay to live in a city rather than out in the county. But But one of the other things that we've shown a significant focus on, significant emphasis on in the last few years, and will as we continue forward, is designing new neighborhoods, making sure that developers that come in are designing neighborhoods in different ways. We've really over the last several decades focused on subdivisions, right? How many of you live in a subdivision? You've got a masonry wall or something like that around your community, right? Anyone know what traditional neighborhood development is? It's the way things were done right prior to World War II. Neighborhoods where kids aren't in cul-de-sacs. We call those cul-de-sac kids. They grew up, they know 2 or 3 kids in the neighborhood because they all jumped the same pothole in the cul-de-sac, right? But we're focusing on traditional neighborhood development where we've got muse lots, big front porches, stuff like passive surveillance. And while passive surveillance, I promise you, is not Big Brother, that's not what that means. What passive surveillance is, it means people like you out on your porch, keeping an eye on the kids in the neighborhood like you used to do. That's traditional neighborhood development. Rather than putting everybody behind a masonry wall, are we trying to keep people out or are we trying to keep people in?
It's good work. And speaking of that, mobility. We don't want to keep everybody in. Citywide mobility. We want to improve citywide mobility, and let me tell you why that's important. Of course, you all know, each and every one of you in here know. Beside public safety, one of the things that you said to us as it concerns just things that get under your skin is the T word, traffic. Traffic, oh yeah, see, I'm hearing the grumbling in the morning. Yeah, the traffic. Now, you know, I'm going to tell you, I'm originally from Houston, Texas, and you know, traffic is crazy. And I've messed around. I've been here now for almost 40 years. And just being here in the area, I've gotten acclimated to the fact that when I sit at a light for more than a couple of cycles, you know, I'm like losing my mind now. You know, yeah, that's traffic, and that's real. And who wants to do that? Who wants to sit in that? Nobody does. So we're working on that. So we are saying to each and every one of you, because people always ask us the question, Joe, you know, do we have a plan? Do we have a plan for that? And of course, you see, yes, we do have a plan. Joe, are we making it up as we go?
Sometimes. I'm joking. We don't make it as we go. We actually have a Master Thoroughfare Plan that we adopt every 5 years. It's an adopted plan. Impact fees are set based on the number of roads we anticipate doing, the number of lane miles. So yes, there is a plan. We have a plan for maintenance of existing roadways and also construction of new roadways, widening existing roads, widening intersections. I think something that you'll see us focus on significantly here in the future is rather than spending $20 million widening a road from 4 lanes to 6 lanes, what we'll do is we'll focus on those intersections, the choke points that really cause the traffic. If you drive down Heritage Parkway or you drive down Broad Street, most times of the day, the traffic isn't bad at all. As a matter of fact, you get to the light, you wait 1 cycle, you go on through. Well, around rush hour, what happens is we have a lot of congestion at the lights. It does us no good to spend that much money to widen the roadways only to get you to an intersection that you wait at. You're just driving faster to the stoplight. That's all that really happens when you do that. So what we're focusing on is extending some of those turn lanes. Extending turn lanes, widening the intersections themselves, and of course, a traffic management system for the sequencing of the lights. So that's a significant focus for us, is getting people through intersections and home to their families.
And we're investing more as well.
You are, Mayor. You're investing much more than that. You know, in addition to working on the master plan, we've also had council address the size of the staff in the street maintenance department. We've added a full-time crew to make sure that we're addressing potholes and stuff like that, addressing curbs and gutters and stop signs and all the things like that, traffic signals, all the good stuff.
Yes, sir. And in regard to investment, we have increased that budget. We increased it 17% from 23 to 24. Prior to that, 10%, and the year prior to that, actually 50%. So in the last 3 years, we have increased the street maintenance budget by 77%. We know that that is an area of concern for each and every one of you, and we're making sure that we put the money right there. Put the money where the concern is, and we know that it's there, but also in just trying to get some things done. So we'll round off real quick some of the roads that concern many of you. And I'm going to go ahead and confess that I'm going to take the majority of the roads that are pretty well done, and I'll let Joe handle the ones that people really get really mad about, okay? So with all due respect to you, love you, Joe, but Holland Road, that's one. Holland Road is just about completed. Holland Road is just about completed. And you know, we're just maybe a couple of weeks away from having that one done. US 287, the frontages, where, as you see, that there's a lot of construction taking place on 287. That's in anticipation of the development that is coming on 287. Again, all that development is going to help lower our tax burden, and it's going to bring retail, entertainment, and all that good stuff to the area, the things that people say that they want, and it will connect the southern sector of our city, which is a growing sector, connected to the rest of Mansfield, so that we are whole. Daymire Road, buddy. You got that.
Sure, man. Do any of you have a boss that gives you all of the yucky stuff?
Oh, come on, man.
Right? Any of you have that?
Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
I don't. I'm just saying, I don't.
It's 7 of us.
7 of us. There's 2 of us on the stage, Mary. There's just 2
Well,
of us
that's
on the stage. Anyway, Daymire Road. Yeah, so this is the western boundary. This is the western city limit line between Grand Prairie and Mansfield. The mayor got to tell you about a project about Holland Road that's opening up, right? The only thing left to do is plant the flowers in that thing, in the medians. I'm going to tell you about Daymire. It's going to be under construction for the next 18 months, and you're going to call us every 6 days. You know, and the school district is going to be
That's right. School board is here too, brother. The school board is here.
You're going to get all these calls, and I'm apologizing on behalf of the mayor because it's his fault that I have to share this news with you. But there are 3 schools.
7 of us, ladies and gentlemen.
2 of us on stage. And Daymire will be under construction for the next 18 months. We'll be widening that road. There are a number of jurisdictions involved in this project. It's taken a while to get it to where it is, but it's going to be a fantastic when it's done. This is truly one of those projects that is short-term pain for long-term gain. We'll be adding lanes to that road. We'll be adding sidewalks on both sides to make sure that the kiddos can get home safe from school, get to school safely. There are multiple jurisdictions. MISD is involved in that one. The city of Mansfield, city of Grand Prairie, and Tarrant County are all pooling resources to make sure we can take care of the kiddos as they travel back and forth to school. But for the next 18 months, where's Raymond Kaufman? Raymond, raise your hand. Everybody turn around, please. Raymond, stand up. This is the guy that designed Daymire Road. So,
No, stand up, Raymond. Stand up. Wave your hand.
You got one of them bosses too, Raymond. So, anyway, Raymond's cards are back there at the back, and if you need him, please.
That's Raymond's boss right there.
Feel free to give him a holler. He loves that. Matlock Road, have any of you sat through the traffic? I know Kezia and Shane, I know you guys sit through traffic at this intersection all the time because you live right near there. Cannon and Matlock. Yeah, that's a mess. Well, we can't widen those roads. What we're going to do is extend the queuing lanes so more people can get into the turn lanes. How many times have you waited at that dadgum intersection while the queuing lane is empty, right? And the left arrow light is on? Oh, that infuriates me. Yes, ma'am, I see you too. Raymond's right back there. But no, we see that too, and it's very frustrating. So what we need to do is we need to extend queuing lanes to get people out of the way of the through lanes so you guys can make it through the intersections faster. Again, that's not an intersection that's terrible at all times of the day, but during rush hour it can be very hectic.
Okay, let me take one because my wife, after this is over with, she's going to say that I mistreated you. So, anyway, Broad Street. Now, this is not a good one, so we're kind of even. So, anyway, in regard to East Broad, how many of you have been in traffic from the fire station to 360 on East Broad. Where are you at? Oh, yeah. See, they frowned more at that one than they did at the other one.
And you're about to tell them how great you're going to make it.
Yeah, because this is actually one where we're going to widen the lanes. So it'll be like 6 lanes, 3 and 3. And where's Casey Lewis? I'm not going to let him off the hook. He chairs that subcommittee. Where's he? There he is. He's in the back. Okay, he was on the morning shift. He's in the back as well. But anyway, that guy right there, wave your hand. That's my colleague, Casey. Yeah. He chairs that particular subcommittee in regard to traffic, mobility, that kind of stuff. But the good news is, when the study was done with the widening of the lanes, what you're going to see is that the traffic moves about 3.5 to 4 minutes faster through the light to 360. So that's a good thing. But that won't be finished for another long time. All right, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. All right, see, I took one, Joe.
You did take one for the team.
I took one for the team, brother.
I appreciate that very much. But I think the message that I'm hoping that you will all take away from this is when you get those citizen satisfaction surveys in the mail, fill them out. The city council, when we go away to our strategic visioning workshops, reads every one of those comments, and we come up with these strategic priorities each year. Traffic being one, you can see there's a significant focus on that. Entertainment options is another one that was a significant focus. We're going to talk about that in a little while, but how many of you have been to Six Flags and ridden the mini mine train? You know, clack, 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 Broad Street. Gotcha. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, make a joke on my slide. All right, moving right along. Traffic impact map. So we aren't just making it up, and we want to be transparent. We want you to know what's going on in the city. Now, this might not be something that you will just want to read that'll give you joy that day, but at least you'll have an opportunity to know what's going on around you. So you'll see if you go to mansfieldtexas.gov/traffic. That way you can see where road closures are. You can see where maintenance is going to take place, will take place. So that'll help you to be in the know in that regard. Joe, here's a good one, Broad in Maine. See, that's a good one.
Another great one.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the things that showed up a number of times in the citizen satisfaction survey was people want us to invest in historic downtown Mansfield. There are several places in town that belong to absolutely every one of us, and historic downtown is one of those places. It can be even better. Right now, recently we brought in a guy named Jeff Speck, and he's an industry leader. He speaks nationally, speaks internationally about the importance of walkability in your downtown area. So what we're doing is we got a plan to improve the intersection of Broad and Main. We're not ready to unveil those plans yet. We have to unveil those to the council yet, but we've gotten a sneak peek at those, and it is absolutely stunning. But that's a project that will be coming, I hope, in the very, very near future. There's a QR code on the screen. You're welcome to take a picture of that. I'm not sure if it's in the booklet or not, but Bernie, it's available on our website. It's easily navigated to. We brought Jeff in, and he gave us a couple of speeches, couple of instances downtown, where he talked about the importance of walkability and shade and the value that a great downtown brings to a community. I would encourage all of you to go watch that because it's really a great presentation, and it's something that we're working on right now.
And we're also beginning to work on the citywide active transportation plan, because transportation isn't just about cars and things of that nature, but you've got some good stuff to share regarding other modes of transportation. But also it's important to know that we will be, we're going to need you. We're going to need you to lean in and help us to know just how important cycling is to you, and walking, walking, getting to know the folks in your neighborhood. It's one of the things that we have become hypersensitive about as it concerns, Joe was talking about subdivisions and otherwise. We want you to live in walkable neighborhoods. That means that, all that you need, corner grocers, things of that nature, will be right about 10, 15-minute walk from your house. But again, we're going to need you. We're going to lean in on data, but also citizens surveys, and we're going to need you to come out to the meetings where you will talk to us, help us to know what that means to you, and we're going to do the very best we can to make sure that our vision, that we focus on those areas of importance. So that's going to be starting here in the next few weeks, and you're going to be hearing more about that. And again, I'm going to give you some more candy, sir.
Yes, sir. So Mansfield, in the 2045 plan that the North Central Texas Council of Governments, by the way, North Central Texas Council of Governments is the metropolitan planning organization in which we reside. And they have a 2045 mobility plan. And in that mobility plan, they're anticipating commuter rail, a 30-mile commuter rail system to go from Midlothian up to the city of Fort Worth. And that will pass directly through Mansfield. Now, we have an opportunity to get 1 or 2 rail stops, but no more than that. If we get one, the reason why we can only get 1 or 2 is there has to be a specific distance, a minimum distance between stops. So what we're thinking here is that we're either going to get 1 stop, and it will be here in the reserve. You're in the reserve right now. Or there will be 2 stops. One south of Hawaiian Falls and the ball fields, and the other one in historic downtown Mansfield, which creates tremendous economic opportunities for both of those areas. So whether that comes to fruition or not depends largely on how development occurs between now and 2045, but that's in the plan. They're already studying the topography and all that for rail stations. And again, we're on tap for 1 or 2 rail stops.
So, Joe, we talk a lot about the reserves. What's the parameters? What does that look like? I mean, from here, just kind of paint the picture.
So, in
for us.
general, when we talk about the reserve, think it's bounded by 287 and 360, and then Broad Street. So Broad Street's kind of the cap on that cone. That's generally the
and
the
heritage and the land in the middle.
Right. All of that. We're sitting in the reserve right now.
All of that. So,
Yes, sir.
You're hearing Joe, you're hearing us, and you hear from our council persons, in the grocery stores and places like that, about Mansfield and about what's happening in Mansfield. And, it can be kind of easy to say that some of the stuff that we're talking about is really, no way. It's nuts. We got some of that reaction. It was a positive. It's nuts. Earlier today, like really, one of the things that we hope that you will do with us is dream with us and not be afraid to dream. That's why I'm talking about the council, about us staying together. Dreamers, our staff. We've been blessed to have individuals who are not afraid to move, to push, to go that extra mile, to say, you know what, we haven't done this before, but why not Mansfield? We've been in meetings over the past few years where people have said, about our city. They said, oh, they think they're somebody else. No, we think we're Mansfield. And when we talk about remarkable experiences, you know what? We believe, we live here. We raised our kids here. We're raising our kids here. We believe that we deserve all of that. The fun, the games, the entertainment. We don't want individuals looking on the app somewhere, on a Thursday or Friday saying, where do we go? You know what? We'll go to that city or we'll go to that city. We want people saying, now, you know what? We'll go down the street because we got this and that happening in Mansfield. Joe, I'm sorry. I'm in the hope business. I'm in the hope business. And I appreciate the fact that we've got folks who are not afraid to say, we deserve the same amenities that those other cities that they have. So we're going to talk about the future now. And let's look at what the future looks like. So what have we done? We've adopted our cultural arts master plan. What is a city? A city is made up of people from everywhere. I mean, we were talking about the car show earlier today, and That is one of my vices, don't smoke, don't drink, I do dance, but I don't, but the beautiful cars, that's my vice. And Lisa holds the checkbook and she helps to keep us from being broke. But we're gonna have car show in Mansfield, downtown Mansfield. You're gonna see all of these hopped up hot rods. And if that's not your thing, I'm sorry, but it's really awesome. All down Main Street. I mean, yeah, why not in Mansfield? We're talking about cultural arts, visual arts, right here in Mansfield. We're talking about museums right here in Mansfield, the establishment of a cultural district in Mansfield, Texas. That's the Mansfield that we're talking about. It is going to happen not tomorrow, but we're talking about stuff that's happening right now, aren't we, Joe? It's going to happen right now. That's our future, and we're proud of it. We are mighty proud of it.
Yes, sir. One of the things that we
didn't mean to preach, brother. I'm sorry.
You're a pastor. I halfway expected that tonight.
I'm sorry. I take it back. No, I don't.
Right. Another group of individuals I want to call out specifically. Jason Alexander and your team, would you guys stand up? Jason is the Director of Planning and Development Services. If everyone would please give him a round of applause, he and his team. We went through something this year. His team put in a yeoman's effort this year. Significant heavy lifting to bring forward to the City Council a future land use plan. Previous land use plan was dated in 2012, right? So it was well overdue and time to make that happen. And we've been growing quickly. So the need for a future land use plan was pretty significant. Several council members ran on a platform to make sure that we did that. And I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that they've accomplished that goal. They've accomplished the campaign promises that they made to you. I can tell you that for sure. Future land use plan identifies all kinds of things, and it's a guiding document. We refer to it as Mansfield 2040, and it talks about all the things we've already talked about: how you get around town, transportation, mobility, housing types, neighborhoods over subdivisions, all of that sort of stuff. But the most important part about this future land use plan is it's not a staff plan. It's not even a city council plan. It's your plan. There were well over 100 meetings that took place in order to get this plan put together. 25 or more of those were with the public. It was sitting down with folks just like you and saying, what do you want to see? What do you envision for this area? What would you like us working on? What sort of things do you want us to bring to you? That's the sort of plan that was put together. It was put together with you guys in mind and with your input the whole way. Something that really came out of this, and I know the mayor is passionate about this. We've already talked about the average new home value being $611,000. What we heard absolutely loud and clear, it was crystal clear, was that Mansfield residents want options when it comes to housing. They love the type of lots that we have, and there are thousands more of those already in the train. It's coming. But they also want townhomes, they want row homes, they want duplexes, they want smaller lots. Again, not everybody wants a 3,000 or 4,000 square foot home on a half an acre. Some people do want that, and that's great. The idea is to make sure that those options are available for everybody. Very last thing we want is we want our kids. We do not want our children graduating from high school, from Mansfield ISD, and then moving away to fall in love with some other place or with somebody else from another place. We want them to fall in love with somebody right here.
But they can bring them here, man.
But only if they bring them here.
You know.
Unless they're from California.
Well, man, don't. I told you, don't go there.
I didn't mean that.
Don't go there with the California thing. Look, my youngest son lives in Grapevine. My oldest son and his wife live in Austin. And now we have grandbabies. We got one granddaughter, and we've got another granddaughter coming, and I am in granddaddy land, and I love every bit of it. We want our kids close. We do. You think about the top-notch school district that we have, and Mansfield ISD is the best school district in the state of Texas, hands down, hands down. We educate our kids, they do well, and they go away. So when we're talking about these different housing options, Joe, I mean, I don't know, I know that at least in our first house was like, our starter home was like 50 grand, $56,000. You know, and of course, that's long gone. We've been married 37 years, so don't even think about that, y'all. But again, how many of your kids, you know, after they graduate from college, and everybody doesn't go to college. I mean, trade school, post-secondary education, they've got a skill, but can afford a $611,000 home. Casey Lewis showed us something today. He and Julie, they are our resident experts in regard to real estate and otherwise. And I think Casey, that he shared with me that the cheapest home sold in Mansfield last year was, with all due respect, was a manufactured like trailer home for $150,000, and I think the down payment on that was like $15,000. I mean, are you hearing me? And then the monthly note on that was like $1,500 to $1,700. Okay, my bad. I was trying to go low. Okay, $1,900. I mean, so when we talk about housing options, Joe, you mentioned quads and duplexes. We're not talking about stuff we used to see back in the day. We're talking about something a little different, right?
So there's a big difference between the apartment complexes that we've gotten used to, right? These 2 or 3 story complexes with the steps on the outside, the concrete steps that are more often broken than not, right? One thing that came up in this plan was folks wanted to see apartments. Now, 1.3% of our land in this entire city, 1.3% of the land is covered with manufactured or multifamily homes. 1.3%, but nearly 11% of the ad valorem revenue the city brings in comes from that 1.3% of your land use. They offset your taxes in ways you can't even fathom. And people need a place to live.
So what about what they might look like 10 years from now?
Well, council did something very important here in the last couple of years. We've created a multifamily rental inspection department. Nicolette, if you're back there, would you raise your hand, please? Everybody take a look. It's Nicolette. Hello, Nicolette. Nicolette and her team inspect multifamily units, rental units, every day to make sure that they're up to standard every day.
So speaking of updating things, now we have these masonry walls that are cracking all over the city. We can't get the HOAs to pay for them. You got homeowners, I mean, bless their hearts, they didn't know that thing was going to crumble on them in 5 or 10 years. What have we done in that area?
Well, we've gotten rid of requirements for masonry walls. Remember, I asked you how many of you live in a subdivision with masonry walls around them, and a lot of you raised your hand. It's no longer a requirement. I do think that the visual on the screen is pretty telling, though. It's symbolic of what's happening. These masonry walls, all down Matlock, all down Debbie, you see them coming down all the time. Now, either the HOA has to pay for that if they have the money, or the individual homeowner does. And we get calls all the time. Nicolette and her team are out there with code compliance. She's over code compliance as well. And going out and inspecting these things and saying, hey, you got to fix them. But sometimes those can be $40,000 to fix a masonry wall. Who has $40,000 laying around? So the idea is to create options, make sure people have the ability to replace those walls.
So wrought iron fences.
Wrought iron fences, vegetation, stuff like that, man.
Okay, all right. If I want a little privacy, I can either grow vegetation or I can get those little plastic vegetation looking thingies that'll give me my privacy and all
Ideally
of that.
not. Ideally they're real trees, but yes, okay, you could do that.
I mean, you got to help a brother out. Okay, well, good. All right. Get involved, get involved, get involved, get involved. You've heard that all night. Get involved in our commissions, get involved in our boards. Again, citizens' comments, that's all getting involved, getting involved. How many in here you have served on any of our boards or commissions, or you would like to? Where are you? We need you. We need you. We need you. Thank you. We can't do our music festivals. We can't do any of our arts festivals. We can't do anything without volunteers. We just cannot do it. I mean, the Man House, we have Man House volunteers, Historical Society folks in the room. And again, thank you all very much. We need you. We got to have you. So speaking of that, modernizing analyzing some of these codes that we have, sir, going through the
Yes,
books.
sir. So we know it became a very significant issue very quickly. All of the commercial parking lots between Sam's and everybody know where Ton's Mongolian Grill used to be? Yeah, yeah, me too. That's not that funny. Stop laughing. But it became an overnight store. Mr. Newsom, now, come on now. He's laughing too much at my expense. But anyway, it became a truck parking lot. They put out over the net or whatever they do, truck drivers. God love them, God have them. Please know that I'm not saying anything negative about them. But they said, hey, Mansfield, this parking lot in particular is truck and trailer friendly. So y'all come on and park over there. Overnight, literally, you'd have 40 or 50 18-wheelers parked there, and you guys did not like that.
That's a bad thing.
We heard about that all the time. So council adopted a code making that, putting some significant restrictions on that, and they're no longer there. In addition to that, talk about other stuff like ADUs,
Yes,
accessory dwelling units. That's something that came out of our future land use plan. So we've modernized that, making ADUs available. Accessory dwelling units are small homes, casitas, granny flats, stuff like that. Making those legal. You want to talk about our youth council?
Yes, I do. We now have a youth council in Mansfield made up of young people from our area high schools, and they are outstanding. Listen, we're talking about Mansfield for the future. We need to hear from the very folks who we want to retain, and that's our youth, that's our young people, and they help to advise the council. We listen to them. We do more listening than talking to them, and that's an area in our city that's going to continue to grow as we listen to the younger people, young adults, and these are some top-notch individuals. So we usually don't get to keep them long because now these kids are graduating from high school earlier, and they're not only graduating from high school earlier, but they're graduating now with their associate's degree, so they're moving really fast, and we have to work to try to reel them in and to keep them here. So we have an internship program. If you know, or yourself, if you want to be involved, you are a high schooler or someone at one of the colleges, junior colleges that want to know how municipal government works, we have a paid internship program. Also, because of our youth council and our staff, we will now be churning out a new, and I'm holding up my telephone here in my hand, but we're going to have a website ready where you can just go for, it'll be phone friendly. So you'll be able to go and access city services that way. And again, all this came from, keyword, volunteers from you, talking to us, telling us what our particular needs are. And Joe, we've got our school district friends here. So we've got Garrett Cummins, Garfield coming up. Let's talk a little bit about that together, buddy.
So how many of you have heard of Geyer Commons, this new project, and a land swap that happened between the city and the school district? Everyone in the school district said, I heard about that one. Geyer Commons is going to be another one of those places that absolutely belongs to everyone in our city. Everyone. Makerspace, farmers market, bringing homes, historic structures that are in danger of either falling into state of disrepair or
Old Town Village.
Old Town. How many of you have seen Founders Row in Midlothian? Founders Row, very similar to that, along with the Makers Market. We exchanged that property with the school district, and we'll talk about what that swap all entails here in a minute. But we'll also be receiving the rock gym and the historic high school as well in that swap. And it will be deed restricted. Well, of course, we'll preserve those structures as well. But it'll be a traditional neighborhood development come out. You're going to love it. It's going to be something for all of the city.
All right, so we talked about swaps. So City Hall is involved in that swap. And what does that mean? I think it's a boon for our school district because they need more space.
What it is it's really a way to save taxpayers money because the people that live in town and pay city taxes also pay school district taxes.
Yes, you do.
So the city council and the school board partnered together and said, in this swap, let's figure out a way to make things work for all of us. Now, my predecessor, Clay Chandler, was a city manager for 36 years here, and he did a fantastic job of making sure that we had the facilities that we needed to do our jobs and that we were fitted for growth. We were able to get 20 years out of those facilities. Dr. Kimberly Cantu, the superintendent at MISD, same thing. Her predecessor, one of her predecessors is here, I believe. Dr. V?
Yes.
Dr. V.
Jim
Everybody give
Viscoskas.
Dr. Viscoskas a hand.
Performing Arts Building is named after that guy back there. Get his autograph before he leaves.
Yeah, and his predecessor, Vernon Newsom, of course, Mr.
Yes.
Newsom, one of our council members, that's his
right.
father.
It's his
So,
dad.
and the stadium is named after his father, Vernon Newsom
right.
Stadium. They did an amazing job of making sure that the school district had the facilities and the land that they needed to take care of their needs then and on into the future. Dr. Cantu and I are now faced with this exact same dilemma. We're at build out. The facilities that we currently reside in, we're chocked full of. Closets or offices. We've done what we could. We've done all of that. In the school district, the school administration is in 5 different buildings. That's very inefficient to do it that way. So what we've worked out is we're swapping land. The school district, the school administration is going to come to City Hall.
Yes.
We're going to take Geyer Field, Geyer Commons is what it will become known as. We're going to take Geyer Field, the school, the historic high school, and the rock gym, and that shopping center that the Dollar General is currently in. We're going to take all of that. They're going to get City Hall, the land behind it, so they'll have room to grow. The current City Hall will meet their needs for the next 15 to 20 years, which means we're homeless. The folks at City Hall are now homeless. So in 3 years anyway, they didn't like kick us out yesterday, right? But we're now going to build another location that belongs to absolutely everybody.
But don't click that button yet, though.
Okay.
Set it up first. Set it up real
belongs
good.
to absolutely everybody, and that's a town square.
That's right.
City Hall, a new City Hall will be built just across the street, across Heritage, at the northeast corner of Heritage and Regency Parkway. It's actually a little that way.
That's right. Okay, so wait. No,
Dream with
no.
us now.
So now we need you to dream with us. Because this morning, people were looking like, I don't believe anything they're saying about this next slide. So we're gonna, instant feedback, right? So I want you to imagine in Mansfield, Texas, how many folks have been to Oklahoma City and you've seen the canals? Oh, there you go. Wow, right, we're in good shape. All right, we had fewer people this morning. How many have you been to San Antonio to the river walk? More people, good. Deep breath, ladies and gentlemen, for real, for real, for real. Can you imagine a canal system in Mansfield, Texas? I think you could. Now, look at the pictures. Yeah. The engineers have spoken, am I right?
Yes, sir.
The engineers have spoken. That's coming to town. That's coming to Mansfield, Texas. That's going to be the location for the new City Hall, and I'm going to pass that baton to you, sir.
Imagine, if you will, the canals of Mansfield. If any of you have been to Oklahoma City or you've been to San Antonio, you know what value the Riverwalk or the canal system in Oklahoma City brings to those, the economic boom that takes place around those. Not only is it possible, the developer, the landowner in the city are committed to seeing this one through. It's going to be a fantastic project. There's the map of it. The canal system in its entirety, when laid out, is almost a mile long, and all one elevation. So if the mayor would like, he can get in that little plastic swan and he can
Yeah, we're
drive
talking
all
about
around.
mobility, so there it is.
Multimodal. Here, just to give you an idea, here's a picture looking over the top of City Hall, down the town square, down toward the canal. You can see the lake that would be out in front of City Hall. You can see the massing of buildings that would be out there. You're talking about a hotel, conference center, restaurant, retail, all of that kind of stuff. The canal system, that's what that would look like. So dream big with us. We're not that small town that the best we can hope for is a Dollar General. That's not what we are. You are not that town. You are not that town at all. You can have the canal system. That's coming for you.
Why not Mansfield, Texas? Why not Mansfield? Building strong neighborhoods as well. Why not Mansfield, Texas? Our parks system and our linear trail system is one of the top in the nation. How do I know? Again, Rose Park, so many of you have enjoyed, not just Rose Park, but our parks, period. And now we're talking about reimagining Rose Park. Well, Rose Park is getting a makeover, and it's going to be bigger and better, and it will be more fun for families. Also, in regard to our park system, they are now CAPRA accredited. So I'm going to have to read this, CAPRA accredited. That is the Commission for Accreditation for Parks and Recreation Agencies. There are only 206. There are only 206 park and recreation systems in the country, 206 that have this accreditation. That puts our park system in the top 1% in the entire United States of America. So let's give a round of applause to our parks folks. Where are Parks Board people at? Where are you at? Wave your hand, Parks Board people. Yes, thank you. You know the park system that we have here, so all of that is a part of that. And then we would talk about destination downtown. Now, Joe, something that's important, because we're talking about all of the renovation, all the development that's coming to the downtown area, but I bring you good news. We believe in Mansfield first as well, right?
100%.
100%. We believe also in taking care of the people who have been here, who have planted here. Those small businesses that are downtown, they have the opportunity now to prosper as well with all of the new development that's coming. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Rising tide does what? Raises all, I think, gondolas, right? Is that what we're going to have in the canal?
Swans, plastic swans.
Let's make it happen, man. So all of that, all of that. So if you're a small business owner in Mansfield, we got you. We got your back. You will grow from this. Go ahead, talk a little bit about Water District, sir.
Did anybody know that Main Street used to be called Water Street? Way back when it was called Water Street, and the reason for that is that's where the original water pump was in the city of Mansfield. So has anybody been to downtown Denver and seen a development referred to as the Dairy Block? Anyone familiar with the Dairy Block?
A few folks.
Yes, sir. That is coming to Mansfield. City council staff has been out and visited the Dairy Block, and it is absolutely fantastic. Right where Fire Station number 1 sits today will become what we refer to as the Water District, Mansfield's version of the Dairy Block.
That's right.
You're talking about 10,000 square feet of meeting space. You're talking about tens of thousands of feet of corporate office space, retail, restaurants, entertainment, structured parking,
Yes.
Townhomes that face First Street. Really remarkable development.
About
Really
parking.
excited.
I'm sorry, Joe. Structured parking means?
Parking garage.
That's it. All right, but it's going to be one of the most beautiful parking garages in the whole wide world, right?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, yeah, way to go.
Swan on the top of it.
Smith and Elm, sir.
So there's another development that we've been working on for quite a while now and is finally coming to fruition. We actually got some fantastic news in our economic development department yesterday, as a matter of fact. So we're really excited about a development that's coming on Smith Street in downtown. It'll be some multifamily units, but look at the picture on the screen. You've got an area that's a sort of a square, an entertainment district of sorts. Anyone been to the AT&T entertainment district or innovation district in Dallas, where you got the big screen? You can go out there, sit on the lawn, watch the game.
I'm not saying anything about the Cowboys.
Have a soda, whatever you want.
I'm not
I
going
wasn't
there.
even going to the
Don't
Cowboys.
bait me.
Okay. That's coming to Mansfield. Mansfield's getting that. Restaurants, retail, office, row homes, all of those sort of things coming to Mansfield. This will be an economic boom for the businesses that are already downtown. I see the owner of Andy Mac's Candy Shack over here. Man, would you stand up?
Yeah.
You guys have got to get you some Andy Mac's Candy Shack.
That's right.
This will be a tremendous benefit for the businesses that are downtown. And then the Main District townhomes. I think everyone's going to really love this as well. Heard absolutely loud and clear in our future land use plan and our meetings with the residents that they want housing options, townhomes being one of those options that they're very, very interested in. coming to downtown. 42, Matt? Something like that. 42 townhomes, all for sale, all for sale townhomes, just south on the east side of Main Street, south of Meehan Steakhouse and the backyard development, Twisted Root. All that right where the current Mansfield Economic Development Corporation offices are, that, by the way, don't bring any tax value to the city of Mansfield at the moment.
Today, and they're connected to will be connected to the linear.
Pond Branch Linear Trail.
Right, to
That's
the linear trail. So Main Street improvements are coming on the north and southern end of Main Street. Again,
correct.
help with mobility, all of that's important. The downtown district code, so that developers will know who we are, what we want in our downtown. They don't have to guess about it because now they will know because it'll become its own downtown district. That is so very important to us. And also in regard to developing a strong economy, we'll talk a little bit about the Innovation District, sir.
Yes, sir. Innovation District. You are actually sitting right here in the Innovation Corridor. This is the Cellmark building is the foundation stone for the Innovation Corridor, all up and down Heritage Parkway. And we're really, really excited. There are some very interesting, exciting expansions planned for this facility. And just east of this facility, as I said, City Hall is going to be across the street. Another development that's coming what's already here, is the Strawman development just next door.
Dental technology. Right. As a matter of fact, they are world renowned in regard to the development of dental instruments and otherwise. And just walking through that building, it's like walking through, just in regard to international business, they bring people in to the city every other week for training from all over the world. So that's happening right now in
Already
Mansfield.
open.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully plans for an expansion soon, as a matter of fact.
That's what they say.
Another project that is incredibly exciting, I think all of you are going to like, is in what we refer to as the Admiral Legacy Project. That, too, will be directly across the street from this facility, Heritage and Regency.
It's going to be a lot across the street, isn't it, Joe?
Going to be a lot across the street. A lot across the street.
My God.
But this will have, how many, 100,000, 140,000, something like that, square foot of corporate office. Say that again? In phase one alone, there's 140,000 square feet of corporate office, restaurant, retail, structured parking, places for people to live.
Biomedical
all of that
research
kind of
and all that.
biomedical research. Remember, we're talking about, I didn't say this, but there's really important. Mansfield, I said, resides in 3 counties, Tarrant, Johnson, and Ellis County. The average median income here in Mansfield is higher than all 3 of the counties in which we reside. It's higher than the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's higher than the state of Texas, and it's higher than the United States of America.
Right here.
The exact same thing can be said about educational attainment levels. That statistic bears out as well. That's all from census. You can look all of that stuff up yourself. All of that is true. What that also tells us is that a lot of you leave town for work. We did a labor shed study, and we learned that 94% of all of you that live here in Mansfield drive somewhere else to go to work. And that's because there aren't many corporate high-wage jobs available here. The jobs that are available here are good jobs. Please don't leave here thinking that I don't think those are good jobs and they're not fair wage jobs. They are. They're fantastic. But we know that a lot of you have corporate jobs in office buildings elsewhere in the Metroplex, and that contributes to traffic as well. So that's the recurring theme that you see here in corporate office, biotech, innovation, medical field, stuff like that, Mary. And that leads right into this next slide.
Yeah, STEM. Dr. Grimble is here in regard to that. I mean, that area just continues to grow in our partnership with actually the universities as well as with our ISD. That's a recurring theme, the ISD, the partnership, how that's working. We have at Methodist Mansfield, Texas Tech School of Nursing. It is the largest off-site campus in the state, Texas Tech, and this is their 4th graduating class for registered nurses, and it's right here in Mansfield as well. and quite a few of those nurses do remain here in town. So we are really proud of that. As a matter of fact, Brent Newsom is in the house. He had a lot to do with that. We appreciate him for watching that work happen. So here we are. That stuff is happening. And we got movie magic taking place in Mansfield. We got movie studios that's going to be built here in Mansfield, along with the, what do they call the buildings where they're building the sets?
Mill shops.
The mill shops. Yeah, think about 4 or 5 50,000 square foot buildings for that.
4 of them.
And we're partnering with the ISDs for that, as well as with UNT, UTA, TCC. We're talking about 2,000 union jobs is what I'm hearing in that regard. Over 1 million square feet of just retail space. We're talking hotels. We're talking.
You name it. There are 2. So does everybody know where the Amazon facility is located off of Klein Tools Boulevard? This will be just north of that. Movie studios. As the mayor said, 4 50,000 square foot movie studios. Every one of those will have its own mill shop. There'll be 2 hotels. There'll be townhomes. There'll be row homes. There'll be restaurants, retail, all of that stuff right here in Mansfield.
We want some Yellowstone. We want some Yellowstone shot right here in Mansfield.
I'll take some Yellowstone.
I mean, look out there. Well, you can't see it now, but that's a big field out there. We can ride some horses, brother.
You can ride some horses, huh? I will just wait till you get back.
We'll let AI ride the horse for us.
Okay. AI.
Make it look like we're riding the thing,
Even better.
Yeah, even better. But I'll tell you something that is better is the fact that you, the taxpayer, you voted. You gave us the opportunity to have more flexibility in the use of our sales tax dollars. So a lot of stuff that we're talking about, we've been able to attract those businesses, those entertainment venues because of you. And again, your vote in the affirmative. And with that vote in the affirmative, we get to talk about real professional sports stadium, a stadium, right here in Mansfield, Texas. Yep, I know that's another crazy thing. So we're talking about Riverwalk stuff. We got to be nuts. I know we are. Yes, we are. But that's why we're a team and we work together because we're nutty people who believe that things can happen in Mansfield, Texas. And now we got a sports stadium. Talk a bit about that.
Professional sports. We're not able to talk about teams yet. We're not able to release that information. We are under an NDA at the moment, but Mansfield, Texas will have professional sports in it.
And our attorney, one of our attorneys, Vanessa, is looking at us like, don't
Shut
you
up.
dare.
That's what she said.
She's saying, don't you dare. Raise your hand, Vanessa. So if you see us looking over there every now and then, she's the one giving us signals to say, enough, you can't talk more about it. But it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. What a great tease. We got Amanda is in the house, so she's got the Mansfield record. We're not breaking stories yet. But it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. All right, and also family fun is coming.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that. We entertain, family fun, entertainment venues in Mansfield, Texas, and the high five. Joe, I'll just tee that up for you there.
Mansfield, or rather High Five in Mansfield will be a souped-up Dave and Buster's type experience. Axe throwing, bowling, indoor golf, all of those sort of things.
I'll throw axes, man.
Axe throwing.
Brother, I'll stick with the bowling. I'm not doing the axes.
It's all the stuff you told your kids they couldn't do in the house when they were growing up. Yeah, that's coming. Anybody know what Austin Live is? Been to Austin Live? Yep, think Mansfield Live on top of that thing. Mansfield Live. These are the sort of event venues you told us you wanted in citizen satisfaction surveys and a future land use plan, and that's what we intend to do.
So Mansfield Live is like a concert venue kind of thing on the roof.
Rooftop concerts.
All right, well, I can get into that. All right. Just not
rooftop worship. If you want,
not the hatchet. I'm not the hatchet guy, but that's politically incorrect. I'm sorry, Vanessa. Axes, okay? Axe throwing. All right, let's move from axe throwing to good places to live and to stay and to come. And when we visit in Mansfield, like hotels and maybe even convention and conference centers.
Right here at the southwest corner of Heritage Parkway and 287, there'll be a new Courtyard by Marriott coming. It's got 125 rooms, along with another 60,000 square foot of corporate office space, 20,000 feet of retail, restaurant, again, and medical space. You're seeing this recurring theme because these are the jobs that we know Mansfield residents have elsewhere in town. We're trying to get them here.
And the shops at Broad are alive again. It has been resurrected. Yay! We have now more stores that are there. You've got more restaurants that are coming to the shops at Broad. So you're going to see, and you are seeing a lot more life there. Portillo's is coming there. Chewy's is coming there. We believe that Outback is coming there. Let me see what else. We've got Boomer Jack's that's coming there. You know, all of that, again, at the shops at Broad, and there is going to be more. And, Joe, before we get out of this presentation, one of the things that we've been asked year after year, is HEB coming? Yes, 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 they are. We hope to cut the ribbon late spring, maybe early summer if it comes prior to that. That'll be a good thing. So, yes, so you don't have to ask us that when we get done here. It is coming. But let me say this. The mayor, council, we know this, though. We appreciate the grocers who are in Mansfield, who do an outstanding job. Listen, like tonight, Market Street did an awesome job in taking care of us. So we appreciate them and all the help that they give to us. So we want it for the record, because this is being recorded. We love all of our grocers here in Mansfield and all that they do. So
Even if it weren't being recorded.
even if it weren't being recorded, you better know it, but I'm going to say that because that is so very important. So, Joe, you know, I think that's it for us this year in our state of the city, brother.
Last thing I would leave people with is shop local.
Shop local?
Shop local, shop local, shop local. It helps property tax, helps us bring that stuff down. The state of the city is phenomenal, Mayor. I appreciate everything that you and the city council have done.
We're in it together. It's final word. The state of the city, Mansfield, Texas, is strong. Thank you all very much. Have a great night, and we appreciate you. Thank you for coming out.